Human beings are emotional beings.
We're emotional,
right?
yeah.
What we do is we make decisions emotionally and we rationalize them logically.
What were the steps to building real confidence?
Yes, okay.
Not just the fake stuff, not just the oh, I've got muscles and I'm cool now. It's like, what really helped you become really confident? Because you exude real confidence.
Wow, thank you, because that is something I certainly lacked. I think anything you get really great at in life, it's out of necessity. I mean, I needed it. I was such an insecure little boy, so shy. And I would say even into early adulthood, even into when I walked into McKinley, that was a very insecure, shy, lacking self-confidence man. And so I had to build these tools. So the first thing I would say to you is clearly this thing I said earlier about just beginning to stack the pattern of keeping the promises that I make to me is a huge thing. But I'll give you secondarily, identity is kind of like that thermostat on the wall right there. There's a thermostat. That thermostat regulates the temperature of this room. So it's pretty cold outside today, actually. It's still 73 degrees in here. The external conditions don't change the regulated temperature. Your identity, your self-worth, the values and truths you hold to be true about yourself are your personal identity. They regulate your life. They're a thermostat setting. And so regardless of what external things happen, you see, if it's really cold outside there, this room turns the heater on, heats it back up to 73. If it's super hot outside, it will cool it back down to 73 degrees. It's not the external conditions. It's the internal thermostat that governs your life. It will govern everything. That's why often in your life, you'll get life going. Maybe you've got really fit for a while or you've made a bunch of money and then all of a sudden you wake up 6 months later and you're back at that weight again you don't want and you're financially back where you were. You've turned the air conditioner back down to get life comfortable where you believe you deserve it. So this thing regulates everything. You can have everything else in your life together. If you're a 73 degree or fitness or faith or happiness or money, you are going to get 73 degrees eventually, just like this room. How'd I alter it? I believe in the power of other human beings. So I'm a spiritual person, I'm a praying man, and I believe God uses other people to alter our thermostat. So I became, meticulous, crazy. I've told you 3 times today, intentionally, I want to spend more time with you. The reason is I believe you helped me with my thermostat in certain areas. So what I did, my recipe was keeping the promises I made to myself and adding people close to my proximity who could alter those temperature settings in the area. So I have a lot of, forget wealth, I have a lot of really happy people I surround myself with because they through association raised me to 80 and 85 and 90 degrees of happiness. If you want to increase your faith, you all have seen this. If you're around incredibly faithful spiritual people, your internal thermostat changes. Same with money. You can't be around super fit people in your proximity and not eventually become more fit through proximity. So mine has been proximity of people that raise my temperature set.
Dude, that is such a great analogy again. That is amazing. When you start talking about it, I was like, yeah, wow, like that's exactly it. Like, that's the mistake we're making. We're letting if you just left the doors open and you took the thermostat off, your temperature would be based on what's happening outside. Today's not the best day weather-wise. We'd be freezing in here.
Freezing, and that's how most people live, bro.
That is exactly how we live.
Yeah.
We just leave the doors open, let the outside decide the inside.
Got it.
And you just let it figure out, wow, that is such a great way of looking at it.
And for the record, I want everybody to understand this. I only know this because I lived the wrong way so long. I wasn't born with it. This is something, and by the way, something I still navigate. I still protect, to use some of the terminology. I protect people, the proximity of people around me. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that I don't have people in my life that live at lower temperatures. Of course I do, but I manage their proximity to me. So if you have people in your life that are blood and they can't leave your life, but maybe they don't feed you, they take your energy, you need to evaluate their existence in your life, but most importantly, you can evaluate their proximity.
Yeah.
How much you let them affect you, how regularly you communicate with them, how close they are to you. That's where they have influence over you. My kids, you said about kids earlier, I'll just say this.
Yeah, please.
My children, you worry about their teachers, right? Who their teachers are, because that shapes them. But who I really worry about with my kids, what do you worry about? Who their friends are. Who's in their proximity. It changes everything. You got that little time in your life where you kind of went the wrong way. I guarantee you there were some people you were running with then that moved your temperature setting in the wrong direction.
Always.
And then after college, you end up being with the monks, right? My gosh, did you get in the proximity of people who live life blissfully and more happy and more peacefully? Their temperature setting on bliss, happiness, and peace is off the radar. And part of it is your proximity to them, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I love that. You said it best. You can't change the people. You can change the proximity.
Amen.
And that is such a great piece of advice. Tell me now how people can go about that. Like, obviously we know that as you grow in your career, whether it's finance, whether it's success, whether it's fame, whether it's status, more things become accessible, more people become accessible, especially when you're a good person. And we know that we both know that is the currency really, because hey, wealthy people are not attracted by wealth. They're attracted by people, like humanity, right? Like famous people are not attracted by fame. They're attracted by humanity. Yes. But how does someone who's listening or watching today, how do they start creating that proximity with the greatness, with that higher temperature, with the people that can pull them up when they're sitting there going, yeah, like, I just, like, do I email people?
Right, I don't have access to walk in and work out with Sylvester Stallone.
That's what I mean, yeah.
That's a great point. That's one of the powers of digital media, number one. Let me say one thing to everybody. Like your book that's out right now, my book, podcasts, those are an extreme proximity to you. They're literally in your ear. They're in your visual awareness. So it's guarding myself. I watch very little television now. I keep aware of it, but I guard myself. So it's giving the digital influence to myself. The second thing I would say is I would ask myself, where do these people congregate? I'm not talking about wealth. I'm talking about where do people congregate that I could begin to become into their proximity. And so I'll be honest with you, one of the places that's been great for me in my life has been a gym.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, people think that's a very simple thing, but in my gym, people that are typically trying to care for their physique and their body care more about growth and proximity in their life. And so the gym's been great for me that way. It's also actually asking somebody, and it's bringing something to the table of value for them. So what I've always tried to do without giving to those people, without expecting something in reciprocity, I try to think of how can I serve this person? How can I contribute to them? How can I make a difference? My neighbor here is a gentleman that lives next door to me, if he ends up watching this. He's so generous with we're different guys. He's a doctor. He's a lot smarter guy than I am, but he's constantly always, Ed, can I help you with this? And I want him around me, even though we're very different people. I don't think naturally, Chuck, I would say that's a dude just like me, but he is so generous with wanting to give. I want to be in his life and I want to give back to him on a regular basis. And now we've become very dear friends because I think of his wanting to serve me and make a difference for me. So that would be the other element I would give you, is think about how you can make a difference for those people, how you could serve them.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I love that how practical it is. Like, I don't think, when you said the gym, I'm like, no, that's right. I've met some amazing people at my gym.
100%.
So I think you're spot on. Like,
you did it when you sought out your spiritual part of your life by going with the monks. You have to go where they are.
Yeah. So true. You got to go where they are, because we're expecting them to turn up. And,
right. They're not going to just appear.
Yeah, they're not just going to appear.
Where are they? Are they at somewhere where you go faith-based? Do they go to a particular, social organization? Yeah. Is there a club you could join? Where are they on social media? The gym for me was a place that just really, I met a lot of positive, it's hard to be moving your body all the time and be negative. Because their states are high. So people that work out have a higher physical state.
Yeah, and what you're saying is so important, because I think the challenge also people have is they want to be sitting next to Richard Branson, or you want to be sitting next to Jeff Bezos. So you want to be with that. And it's like, well, actually, you don't even need that right now.
No.
You just need someone who's like 3 degrees ahead, 5 degrees ahead.
You're just better at that than me, brother, because you're so right. In fact, if there's too much separation, they have no magnetism to alter your thermostat. If you're at 73 degrees and I'm at 150, our vibrations are too different. You want someone who's at 78 or 79 degrees, and those people are around you all the time. And through time, there's a progression where that thermostat setting keeps changing. You're 100% right about that.
Yeah, and that's why I like the places you chose, because you may not bump into X person there, but you will bump into someone who's ahead of you. And I love that. You talk a lot about having huge reasons and high standards.
Yes.
When you said huge reasons, when I hear you speak about that, I love that. Because I feel like most people today, when you ask them why they're doing something, you don't really get a solid answer. And I think we struggle with that, most of us. And I know in my time, in my life, when I chose to become a monk, that was the first time. If someone asked me why I was a monk, I knew exactly my reasons. I had huge reasons for being a monk. I had huge reasons for leaving being a monk. I have huge reasons for the way I live right now. But there were times in my life where I had very weak reasons or no reasons. Tell us about huge reasons and high standards.
Great point. So reasons, the one thing I have found is that people think they have reasons and they're very general. Specificity is one of the rarest things I can get from people when I coach them. I don't know if you observe this too, but it's like, well, why do you want to do it? Well, I want to be happier. Well, why do you want to do it? 'Cause I want to be rich. Really? Like, what specifically is the reason? What's your specific, emotional, compelling reason to do something? For example, I am relatively fit. And it's not because I'm super disciplined. I'm a lazy person naturally. I have massive reasons, which has caused me to create disciplines around me. When I was 30, I had a heart attack. And most people don't know this. I've not talked a lot about this. And I went and saw a remarkable doctor. I could have seen a normal doctor. What do? They give you the prescription, take your statin, do whatever, and see ya. He got reasons. So what happens is you go do the scan. He does the scan, and you go to lunch. I'll never forget this. I literally ate a burrito at the lunch. That's how, after it. And I come back from the scan. There's nobody in the lobby, and the doctor comes in, and he goes, "I'm looking for Edward Milet." I'm like, "I'm Ed Milet."
Yeah.
He knew who I was. And he looks at the chart, and he looks back at me and he goes, "I can't believe those arteries are in that young of a body." And I went, "Oh my gosh, what's in the scan?" He's loading me up with reasons. So he gets back, listen to this, Jay. He says, he puts my chart down and he goes, "Do you have children?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Do you have a daughter?" I said, "I do." He said, "How old is she?" And I said, "She's a baby." And he said, "Are you interested in walking her down the aisle on her wedding day?" And I went, "What did you just say?" He said, "I want to know if you want to be there and walk your daughter down the aisle on her wedding. You don't talk to a dad about his daughter. You got my attention." I go, "What the f is in that scan, man?" And he goes, "I want you to listen to me right now. If you don't change what you're doing, another man is walking your little baby girl down the aisle on her wedding day. Do you got it?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." And he goes, "But if you listen to me and you do exactly what I tell you, you'll be there for her wedding day." I'm telling you, brother, when I don't want to get out of bed in the morning and it's 5:15 and I've had a long night before, Bella's wedding day, Bella's wedding day, Bella's wedding day. Maybe 100 times a year, Bella's wedding day flaps up. That's what gets my butt in the gym. My big specific reasons get me to take actions I otherwise wouldn't take. So what's your specific reasons for the things you want? And if you anchor and link those to them, you'll get the standards that you set for yourself.
What a great, huge reason.
Yeah.
I mean, that gave me chills. Like hearing you say that, looking in my eyes, I'm like literally like,
You can feel it.
whoa, like that's the reason to stay alive.
That's why I'm fit.
That's the best reason I've ever heard. I don't think I've ever heard a better reason.
That's exactly
My
why.
reason's always, I don't want to die by my own fault. Like,
No, but that's a real reason.
That's my reason. Like, my reason's like, if anything happens and I die, I can deal with that because I couldn't do anything.
Have you not found that though? For you, take anyone that's been on your show or anyone you know that's achieved something at an extremely high level, they have an extremely specific big reason to do it.
Oh, 100%.
And so to the extent that the reason is big and specific, and by the way, you may go, "Well, I don't know what my reasons would be." Let me give you a pathway.
Yeah,
Almost
please.
always your reasons will be your dreams or other people. Almost always they'll fit one of those two categories, big dreams or other people, because most of you have such good hearts and are such good human beings, you will do 1,000 times more for another human being than you'd ever do for yourself. And so if you can link the things you want to the people you love, to the things you love, meaning the causes you love or the people you love, your dreams or other people, you'll almost always find your pathway to your reason.
Oh, so good, man. So, and it's also, what I love about what you're saying is that it's emotionally driving. It's not just logical.
Very rarely
Like,
is
it's
it
not
logical.
It's not like just a list of like, if I don't work out, then I will put on this much weight. If I don't work out, then I will. It's not logical. It's emotional.
Human beings are emotional beings.
We're emotional,
Right.
yeah.
What we do is we make decisions emotionally and we rationalize them logically. And so if you at least know the way that you think, even if you're in sales, your customers buy things emotionally and justify and rationalize them logically. And so in life, you're selling yourself all the time on getting you to do the things that you otherwise aren't normally doing. You're going to decide it emotionally and then rationalize it logically.
And it's love. Like love is pulling you to your daughter's wedding.
Every
right?
time.
Like that love is pulling you there. It's obviously fear always pushes us a little bit, and that's good. I think fear is a good push.
So do I.
But love is a beautiful pull. And when it works together, it's just, that's blown my mind. Like, I think that's the best reason I've ever heard. Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.